Hi, thanks for joining me in this rather unusual setting. I'm sitting in the car today just because it's a fairly private place. It's a really hot sunny day out there. I was going to go and sit in the park and record this video, but then the park's full of people, noise. It's pretty hard to sit and talk to a camera without kind of feeling a bit weird, and people just always walking by, noises, all of that. So here I am sitting in the car, which is just fine. Anyway, today's video is a continuation of my last one. If you saw it, I've just learned how to do frontside Smith grinds. And so what we're going to look at today is like the progression from then, and the kind of progress I've made in the last week or so, which has been pretty good actually. Usually when I first learn a trick, really that's almost just the beginning, and then I spend time kind of refining it. And so that's what I've been doing this week, just working on trying to improve it, get more comfortable, more importantly, and so that I can push them a bit harder, make them look a bit better, make myself feel better about them, just general improvements all round. So obviously it's a huge confidence boost to learn something new, and so I kind of capitalize on that, and when I'm feeling good about it, try and really enjoy it and make it better. Now, seeing as I learned the Smith grinds in the mini ramp, I have been sticking to that mainly and just kind of improving how good I can do those. If you've seen that last video of me learning the Smith grinds, you'll see that I was kind of dropping in either from an axle stool or from the tail and just carving quite hard and fast straight into the Smith grind and getting them at a fairly decent length. I don't know, really about a foot and a bit long. That was feeling good. I think the longest one that I might have managed to do was maybe about the width of a sheet of ply on the surface. But you'll also remember in that video it was quite easy for me to get snagged on the back truck and thrown off the front of the board, and part of that really was because I didn't have enough speed going into the grind, and so without enough speed and enough inertia to carry me along the coping, it snagged quite easily. So I was trying to carve a bit wider, go a bit faster, get the grinds a bit longer, because if I could hang on to the grinds a bit longer, it buys me a little bit of time to kind of think about what I'm doing and compose myself to actually get out of them. And who doesn't want to do a longer grind? So, that was the real aim. So I started off on the mini ramp, just doing more of the Smith grinds, landing more and more of them. They're becoming more and more of a regular thing that I land. I don't know, it was like 1 in 5 or something. No longer was it a mega problem for me to actually land them. I was landing them pretty regularly, which is great. Sometimes it was 1 in 5, sometimes it was 3 in a row, but they were getting pretty consistent, which was great. So yeah, I was sort of learning to refine them and get them better. So I started on the mini ramp, just trying to widen them out a bit. So let's have a look at that. All right, so things are getting good. Now, also to sort of lengthen them out, I thought I need to start in the deep end of the ramp, carve for some good speed, and then hit the other wall, the opposite wall, quite fast. And then the grinds were going to get their full potential of length, because all I have to do is pump a little bit harder. If I'm coming from all the way over the other side of the ramp, I've got plenty of time to build up some speed, pump fast, and hit the coping with some speed and force. This did add an extra fear element though. It was a lot more dangerous hitting the coping at that kind of speed. There's a lot more room for things to go wrong, which did a few times. You know, I shot out a few times, but I didn't hurt myself. But yeah, there's a lot more potential for things to go wrong. So that's where the confidence really kicks in, and you have to hit it with ultimate confidence and push really hard into it. Stick your front leg right out, just to straighten up and, you know, push into it. Make sure that the heel side wheel was locked hard against the coping. With the confidence and sort of leaning back into it, the longer grinds began to happen, which was really good. So I was really enjoying that. that started to feel super comfortable, which is good. That means progress is, you know, going in the right direction, and that's exactly what I want. So with that confidence, I can just do them over and over again now in the mini ramp and just really enjoy what's happening and just try and stretch them out as long as possible. So with that confidence, I thought it's time to really try and get them in the bowl. Bowls are ultimately where I want to be doing them, really ultimately in a pool. So I start in the bowl at this skate park. The extra height of the wall was a challenge in itself, because the higher you go, the more scary it is, and you've got to adjust yourself, change how you do the trick very slightly to adjust to the height and that kind of steeper transition, getting the board over the coping, you know, a very mellow transition. There's not much to have to get over the coping. The steeper you get, it's a long way to bring your board over. So it really starts to get more scary. And obviously with the fear, not only is it more scary, it's more dangerous. So yeah, again, there's a few times where things don't work out quite well, but luckily in the wooden bowl, you just, you know, if you slip out, you just slide along the surface and get scooped up. So I haven't had any heavy slams. I generally bail quite smoothly or fall quite smoothly and get kind of scooped up by the smooth, slippery surface, which is cool. So yeah, luckily, after a little bit, I started to get them going on pretty well in the bowl as well. Just on the flat wall, I want to approach the corner and start doing them in the corner. You know, that's the next step. But just to get them on the flat wall of the bowl is great, and it feels good, to the point where I again thought about, rather than just doing them from the opposite wall, I worked out a line where I could drop in from the deep end and kind of carve and pump around the bowl and then hit the coping with some speed and, more importantly, a shallower angle, and that would take me along the coping a lot better in the grind. And that really started working out, and I'm really happy with the way it's going. So there you go. It's looking good. I'm feeling really good about the progress. I'm so glad that the progress is moving, and it's not that I've sort of learnt them on the mini ramp and then it's like, okay, I've got to start again from scratch to get them somewhere else, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes learning them on a bigger transition or a bigger ramp is like learning all over again. But I think luckily I went to the bowl soon enough after getting them in the mini ramp that it all started to kind of blend together. And I do really think it's down to the amount of time I spent before I even landed my first one. I really do think it was down to the preparation and the amount of time I spent just getting onto them and trying to get the feeling right of getting onto them before I ever even landed one. So I still stand by my technique of learning that way. So yeah, it's happening. It's going good. All I've got to do is keep doing that to the point where I'm super comfortable. I'll try some perhaps in the deep end of the bowl next, along with trying some into the corner. I was getting close to the corner. I was turning out in the corner, but still be in the dish of the bowl. So I couldn't turn out directly because I'd slipped down the wall. So I had to still be in the dish of the bowl to go round and keep pumping around. So it, you know, it was a bit of a challenge in itself just to turn out and still be at the angle on the bowl wall rather than turning out directly like as if it was a mini ramp. So, you know, that was one thing, but that's going to help me more and more as I get into the corner and carve out again. I'll be actually on the wall and in the transition as I carve out. So that will just help me even more. I'm a little bit concerned maybe that my front wheels are gonna snag as I get into the corner. They might hit the surface and throw me off, because hopefully you can see in the video, the Smiths themselves, they are quite dipped down. They're not up with the front wheels kind of right up high parallel with the coping, and that's mainly because the transition is still not steep enough. So it dips down. The board kind of wants to scoot its way down because it's dragging on the surface as I do the Smith, and it pushes you towards dipping the front of the board down. So really I want to hold them up higher, more parallel with the coping, and that's more leaning back and more sort of pushing down on the tail and picking the front up, which I do know how to do. I've been doing that on the mini ramp, but it gets harder to do it on the slightly steeper transition. And not to mention the coping is really waxed. I've mentioned it a load of times, but if this is your first video of mine that you've seen, that coping is really waxed because the rollerbladers wax it a lot. So you've got to go into it with a little bit more caution. So I can't push too hard on my heel because it just might shoot out. So I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. So yeah, definitely these Smiths are looking more dipped than I want them to look. I don't like the look of a dipped Smith. I want it to be up kind of as high as possible, but that is part of the work in progress. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, give us a like and let me know your comments below. And by all means, ask me any questions. Check out my merch that I've got, t-shirts for sale, which is all very helpful towards the channel. Let me know what you think of my progress. I mean, I'm stoked. I know a lot of people have been very happy for me on social media and that, which I'm really grateful for. So until the next one, watch this space for some more progress. I don't know what my next video will be. I might try and do something different than the Smiths, because maybe it's getting boring for some people, but it's a dream trick for me. So that's why I'm kind of laboring the point and still practicing and doing mainly Smiths. I just really enjoy them. It's been a dream to get them, and I just enjoying the moment really. So until next time, thanks for watching. I will see you again soon. Take care.